Is Bryant Wesco reviving wide receiver U at Clemson?
No! No! No!
I think yes. I think yes, he is. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I'm Brian. I'm glad you're joining me here today. If you're new to the channel, you've been watching for a while and you have never subscribed, I hope you'll subscribe. It's free. Drop me a comment in the comment section and say hello. Now, there's a lot of people who's reading that and they're going, one man, and like the great Michael Scott did, one man, no, he's not reviving wide receiver U. Let's talk about Bryant Wesco. Now, of course, his counterpart, I say counterpart, but actually teammate, TJ Moore, he's not an early enrollee. He'll be at Clemson later on. But they're going to show up at Clemson. There's a lot on these guys already. Wide receiver U has become wide receiver community college at Clemson. I'm not being a jerk. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm not being a poor fan. I'm being honest. Wide receiver U is synonymous with Clemson. Why? Well, let's just start naming out some names. Start with, I don't know, Sammy Watkins, Nuke Hopkins, T. Higgins, Mike Williams, Hunter Renfrow, a healthy Justin Ross. And then you have guys like Artavis Scott. You have guys like Amari Rogers. And that's just in the past, 8 years? 10 years? And that's really where wide receiver U got its name. And you go back and you watch the highlights of Mike Williams. You watch the highlights of T. Higgins. You watch the highlights of these guys, and you quickly realize how Clemson became wide receiver U. I know that we've had injury problems at Clemson, but here's the truth. Wide receiver U is wide receiver technical college. There's a lot of questions there. Yesterday I did a video about Matt Luke. Matt Luke's very presence, his very experience is exposing the poor offensive coaching at Clemson. That video has received a lot of views. You should go check it out. And it's received a lot of positive feedback. But when you start to see things kind of fall off, it's not where it used to be. You love your Tigers, but if you have to tell the truth, you know it's fell off. And then a guy like Bryant Wesco walks in. Now, this guy out of Midlothian, Texas, he's 6'2". He's very slim. I'm 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in there. I'm about 175 pounds, and I'm in pretty good shape. He's 6'2", 170, maybe 175 pounds. So this guy is really slim. But he is tearing it up. He is as advertised. And with guys like him, you need them to be as advertised. Because, let's be honest with ourselves, Clemson has not recruited a bunch of duds when it comes to wide receivers over the past 4 seasons. We have just had poor development, in my opinion, and I think that opinion is quite strong, but based on facts. Let me rephrase that. It's setting on top of facts and performance. And then just look at the numbers. And we could talk about from the offensive line to the quarterback play to the offensive coordinator, lack of scheme. That's a nice way to put it. Over the past few years, affecting that. And you would be right. This is not just one thing that's wrong. So it does affect it. But we have not seen a guy like this show up at Clemson in a while with size and speed. So I'm going to read this article courtesy of 24/7 Sports. This is what Dabo Swinney had to say about this. He's what we hoped he'd be. I can stop right there. Bryant Wesco Jr., he's what we hoped he'd be. Continuing, he's a natural. Rarely on those guys from a talent standpoint are you shocked when they get here as far as running, jumping, athleticism, change of direction, all that type of stuff. Usually, as much recruiting as we do in evaluation and seeing them in person, you don't miss often on that. I think the biggest thing that's a plus for him, that's not always the case with guys. This is key, folks. This is key. This is it. This is what sells me. Is he's got a mentality to go with it. He's got a mindset. He's very mature. He's a very mature young player. He's got a lot to get better at and all that stuff, but he's a natural at what he does. He likes to be coached. He likes to learn. He's coachable? No. Right now, we've got him in just one spot trying to get his feet on the ground, as they should. He picks things up very well. I've been really pleased with him. End quote. See, you mean to tell me that you recruit this guy who is really incredible, but he's more than just an athlete. He has the mindset. I believe, and this is just to give you an example, I believe that Joe Milton, that was at Tennessee, was one, as an athlete, was one of the crazy freaky athletes as far as athleticism the game has seen in a very long time. He's huge. He's not a lightweight. I mean, the guy was what, 6'4", 6'5", something like that, about 240 pounds. He could flick his wrist and throw a ball 90 yards. He could run like lightning. But here's the problem, and I hate to say this because if he saw this, he'd be like, man, that guy is really going off on me. I'm just saying, unfortunately. What I warn Tennessee fans is the guy does not have the mentality, the understanding, and the reaction time of what he's processing and what he's seeing, which it invalidates all those great athletic qualities. That Dabo Swinney is saying that this kid right out of high school has the mentality to understand what to do, when to do it, where to do it, why to do it. And he's only been in practice for what, 7 days? If that? Wow. That right there should excite you more than about anything that's coming out of spring practice right now, other than Matt Luke. And I know Bryant Wesco cannot fix this all on his own. He can't. He can't. And I don't like that our program is at a place to where two freshman wide receivers are having the weight of the program put on their backs, so to speak. Not all of it. We've got an incredible defense. We have Phil Maffa. Brennan Stool, when they use him, he does solid. We have some wide receivers who's done good here and there, but there's no dominance at the wide receiver spot. That's what we're missing, folks. Is there anyone on Clemson's wide receiver, the wide receiver unit, that you fear if you're an opposing team? The correct answer is no. Good players, because you're playing Clemson. Clemson's going to recruit good players. They're going to have some good players. You're playing at this level. You're going to have to respect who's around them. I mean, you have to, unless you're an idiot and you want to be fired. But do we have anyone who's dominant and dangerous? Nope. Well, so-and-so had a really good game against... I said dominant. Game in, game out. You had to fear them. You had to scheme around them. We have not had that in a while. At wide receiver, we have not had that. So, Bryant Wesco, 6'2", so he's got the height. He's quick. He can catch. He's a sponge, soaking up the knowledge, willing to learn, Most of it, and this is a life lesson for people outside of sports. This is just across the board. Most people, their success is undermined by their lack of willingness. They're unwilling to learn. They're unwilling to change. They're unwilling to be disciplined. That this young man right out of high school is willing to learn, willing to humble himself and say, okay, I'm going to go. You said I need to do what? Okay, I'm doing that. I'm willing. Folks, willingness will get you a lot of really good places in life. And it's good to hear that this young man right out of high school has that. I'm going to continue with this article because I'm telling you, this is from Khalil Barnes. Khalil Barnes, who, by the way, what a great season he had last year, a freshman. This is what he said about Wesco. Quote, I had never seen Wesco play. I just knew he's like a tall kid. So I thought he was going to be a one-move release, but he's real sticky. He's fast. He's going to be a problem for sure. I like what I see from him. What he's talking about, that one-move release, is a lot of these guys, when they come out of high school, and I saw this a lot. I'm like mid-thought here, interjecting here. I used to be around the recreation sports, high school sports world a lot, a long time ago. In fact, I know Shaq Lawson's family. His uncle and I, we used to officiate basketball together. And I knew Shaq when Shaq was 11 years old. Now, I hadn't kept up with him. But that kid at 11 years old, you knew he was going to be something special. But you had other kids around him who were good. They were good. But they never matured. And what he's talking about, Khalil Barnes is referencing this. And the reason I brought up that example. These kids, as they're growing up, they get that one move they're known for. And they burn everybody because no one's athletic enough or athletic and mature enough mentally to pick up on what they're doing and not bite and take the bait. That's what Khalil Barnes is saying. Normally, guys like this, they come out, they make that one signature move that they have that normally burns everybody. But you can shut it down at this level because we're playing D1 football. You notice what he said right there? He's actually really sticky. He's going to be a problem. This is Khalil Barnes talking about him. Now, I know Khalil's young. Khalil has a season under his belt, which, by the way, was fantastic. So Wesco is more than just some signature move that he's burned everybody he's played against. This guy is the real deal. Now, should we put the weight of Clemson's offense on this boy's shoulder? Absolutely not. That's unfair to him. You got to give him time to develop. You need to give him time to develop. Don't try to use these two guys, and I'm talking about TJ Moore with this. TJ Moore and Bryant Wesco, don't put the weight of the poor coaching over the past 4 years on their shoulders to fix. I know we got Matt Luke now. I know that we've got Garrett Riley who's in his second season of coaching. I get that. But there's still some bad things going on in the offense. It's got to be rewired, unwired, retrained, or if the player cannot be revamped, you're going to have to replace them because of those bad tendencies that they learn. Practice in, practice out, practice in, practice out. They've ran through it thousands of times, and now it's just their reaction time is up here, right? So this is incredible. One last comment, and I thought this was really good. This is from Cade Klubnik. Quoting Cade Klubnik, not a high ego guy at all, just a guy that comes to work every single day. He's smooth, fluid, got really good ball in the air skills, really good at tracking, get great separation. He's going to be a really good player for us. Can you imagine Cade Klubnik looking and going, look, I've been catching a lot of heat. Like, there's a lot of people mad at me. They think I've messed up Clemson. He hasn't, by the way. And you see that guy walk on the field? You go take a pee break. Hey, guys, I got to go to the bathroom. Yeah. That enchilada's finally getting to me. Goes to the bathroom, and he thanks God that Bryant Wesco walked through the door. Finally has someone who has some height and who has some skill to come in and throw to. I know that Antonio Williams has skill. I know that Tyler Brown was a great scorer and he has skill. Stellato, guy could get, if he can stay healthy and catch everything thrown to him. I know Adam Randall's had health problems, and he has moments that you see that he's the high 4 or 5 star that he was. But folks, the dominance has not been there. Hopefully this guy is part of the return. He's not the full return to wide receiver U. He's part of it. He can be a great influence on bringing it back. And hopefully TJ Moore gets here in the summer, and I'll be doing another video talking about how these two could possibly bring us back to offensive dominance in the passing game. Folks, I want to know what you think. I'm going to go to the comment sections real quick. Jonathan Benton, will a freshman revive a short answer? No. Yeah, it's unfair to put that on his back, but I think he could definitely help. Parker Henderson, oh buddy, Parker, it's good to see you, dude. He can jump out of the stadium. It's the coming down part that scares me. Yeah, you got to be careful coming down because that's when you can get destroyed. Parker is a member of the Clemson Football Live. He is joining supporters on a monthly basis, folks. If you want to join Clemson Football Live on a monthly basis, it's $3 or $5. There's no difference. It's just whether you want to support $3 per month or $5 per month. There's a join button below the video. You will not see it on an iPhone. Parker, thanks, buddy. It's good to talk to you. Showing out. Last 2 years has been freshmen that's been our wide receiver, so it's not a long shot. What's up, brother? Just respond back to you. I sent you an email. I'm glad, my friend. JR, the gent. Tyler Brown's healthy. I'm going to go on down here, skip a few. Let me see. Well, we can see Wesco is good. We could also see DJ was not good. He's not going to talk trash about his players to us. Let me see. Brent Niven. I know the receiving is going to be a work in progress to get back to wide receiver you, but Brown, Williams, and the potential of the two freshmen has given us a glimpse of hope with Coach. Hopefully so, Brent. Hopefully so. Let me see. Dale, with two good outside wide receivers, I think we'll see a good improvement. Our biggest problem last year is we had nothing but slot receivers and not enough time to let the plays develop. That's true. You have to take shots down the field, even if you know that most likely it's going to be incomplete. Why? Because you're going to stack the box, which is that's football. That's not even football 101. That's football like for dummies. And then you're going to walk your safeties up. Why do you walk your safeties up? I'm not talking about right up to the line. You just don't have to respect the long threat. And that's what you do. And that's what they've done. But when you stretch out a field and you show them, we will throw down the field. And if we have someone who can even kind of catch, they might catch it. And then you're going to have to trot your happy tail over to the sideline and explain to your head coach, your defensive coordinator, and your positions coach why you were chilling out while they get a 70-yard gain. So you have to do that. It rubs everybody's back. Let's see. Truett Graves says, not if you're dependent on Grisham for coaching. He's a recruiter. That's it. This is one thing that I've said, and I said this in the video. Challenge y'all to go watch it if you didn't watch it yesterday. The video, Matt Luke exposes Clemson's poor offensive coaching. Check it out. I explain in depth why I believe he does, why it's a great thing that he's here, and maybe even the strategy that Dabo had in hiring him first before just finally telling Grisham, hey, man, I appreciate what you've done, but we might have to just switch you to a recruiting role. But I said this also, if you're a wide receiver coming to Clemson right now during this time, you better be one of those people who's willing to develop yourself. Because all these other wide receivers that came during this time, especially the past 4 years, they have fell off. And if that happened to one or two guys, okay. But the vast majority of them, well, they transfer to other programs, Brian, and they don't do nearly as well there. Yeah, because they still have those bad habits that the other programs better be good at developing and rewiring their mentality. Folks, this is a game of reaction. We have the luxury of slowing down games, instant replay, watching the same play over and over and over and over again. They're playing it one time, folks. You know better than that. You're smart. You don't get so caught up in your fandom that you lose reality. These guys are trained to react. So if your reaction, what you've been trained, is poor, you're going to react poorly. That's just it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, I want to know what you think. Put the comment in the comment section below. Tell me why I'm right. Tell me why I'm wrong. I just always ask this. Be specific. Be specific. I do ask that. Be specific. Other than, oh, we're Clemson. We're going to be good. I hope so, but that's not specific, pal. Let me know what you think. Hope you'll subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Pass it around. Last but not least, I have joined the college huddle. I want to say college football huddle. I hesitated there. The college huddle. Eric Boggs over at the Ohio Podcast reached out to me and he said, "Look, we've put together a bunch of YouTube and podcast personalities. We want you to be our Clemson representative. Would you do that for us? Would you think about it?" And I was like, "Let me think about it. Yes, I will do it." So I'm representing Clemson in the college football huddle. They have all of these different YouTubers for all of these different schools, different sports and so on, and it's launching in April. I'm very happy to be part of it and to represent my Tigers. So I'm going to play a quick commercial, and then we're going to end here. The college huddle, which will launch in April. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tuitt Graves says, "Hey, listen, once again, wait until the spring practice." I do agree with you, Truitt. I agree with you. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. If you know anyone who is seen as a pessimist, it's me. I'm just being a realist. So, one of my friends, I joined the Huddle House Restaurant Loyalty Club. Not a great experience. Thank you, Eric. That's hilarious. Parker Anderson, congratulations. Thank you so much. Folks, let me know what you think. We're getting closer and closer to the spring game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Even, I hope that our offense looks a lot better. But either way, it's always good to be in the Valley. It's always good to be hanging out in Clemson. And it's always good to be a Tiger. Go Tigers.